Hello and welcome to Express News with me, Deepika, your daily half-an-hour window that brings you all the latest news and updates from the country and the world in just 30 minutes. Let's begin. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar is hosting his counterparts from the BIMSTEC countries at a two-day retreat in New Delhi. Ahead of presentation of India's national budget scheduled to take place on 23rd of July, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a meeting with economists in New Delhi today. Rating agency Moody's has kept India's economic growth forecast for 2024 unchanged at 6.8%. India's Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Hardeep Singh Puri inaugurated an event that aims to unlock country's untapped upstream hydrocarbon resources sustainably. Lower House or Lok Sabha Speaker of the Indian Parliament Om Birla led the Indian parliamentary delegation in the 10th BRICS Parliamentary Forum meeting in Russia. The Defence Research and Development Organisation has awarded 7 new projects to industries under Technology Development Fund scheme. India's Navy frontline frigate INS Tabar departed from Casablanca port in Morocco after concluding its 3-day visit. The Indian Army flagged off a car rally in honour of Kargil bravehearts. The rally will proceed to Kargil War Memorial and will pass through various military stations. An Indian Air Force contingent made a transit halt in Indonesia while heading towards Southern Hemisphere for exercise pitch black. The first mothership of the Vijayan International Seaport arrives at the port outer point in the Kerala state. The next hearing in the NEET undergraduate case in Supreme Court will be held on the 18th of July. The court noted that some of the parties in the case have not received the affidavits filed by the centre and the NTA. A group of students met Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan at his residence over the NEET UG examination. Union Health Minister JP Nadda and MOS Health Anupriya Patel chaired an event on World Population Day in New Delhi. 2 people were killed as a double-decker bus collided with a truck in Hathras in the UP state. 13th edition of India Warehousing Show highlighted Indian government's initiatives to enhance the efficiency and competitiveness of the sector. Indian government's e-marketplace has got off to a great start in the first quarter of the 2024-25 financial year. The purchases by the government agencies was worth around $12 billion. Britain's economy grew by 0.4% in May, exceeding expectations and boosting Prime Minister Keir Starmer's new government. Britain's grocery regulator has threatened Amazon with a formal investigation if it does not improve its compliance with an industry code. Apple will open its tap-and-go mobile payment system to rivals, EU antitrust regulator said, ending a 4-year-long investigation. French sports retailer Decathlon is seeking specialist brands to expand its business, capitalizing on a post-pandemic shakeout in the industry. Elon Musk won dismissal of a lawsuit claiming he refused to pay at least $500 million of severance to thousands of employees he fired after buying the social media company now known as X. The tiny wires of Neuralink's brain chip implant used in the first participant have become more or less very stable, the firm said. Microsoft has given up its board observer seat at OpenAI in a move aimed at easing US and UK antitrust regulators' concerns about the extent of its control over the AI startup. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell has said that the U.S. Central Bank will make interest rate decisions when and as they are needed. Archegos Capital Management founder Bill Wong was convicted of fraud by a U.S. court in relation to the 2021 collapse of his investment firm. Taiwan's TSMC scaled a record high amid booming demand for AI applications, cementing its position as Asia's most valuable company. Japan's fast retailing, the owner of clothing brand Uniqlo, raised its forecast for what would be its third consecutive year of record high profits. Shares of Glenmark Pharmaceuticals Limited rose to all-time high as it is set to exit Glenmark Life Sciences Limited through an offer for sale. German car maker BMW is recalling over 300,000 vehicles in the US due to faulty airbag inflators. Mali's ruling military junta and Russia's state nuclear company Rosatom signed 3 cooperation deals. Ukraine's Air Force said that Russia had launched 2 Iskander ballistic missiles and 6 Shahed drones in an attack on Ukraine. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said the first batch of U.S.-built F-16 fighter jets are already being transferred to Ukraine from Denmark and the Netherlands. NATO member states issued joint declaration at summit in Washington, D.C., outlining commitment to military alliance and long-term support for Ukraine amid Russia's invasion. Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis and Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan met on the sidelines of the NATO summit. U.S. Senate leaders, including Minority Leader Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer, met UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer during the NATO summit. A Japanese warship made a rare entry into China's territorial waters near Taiwan earlier this month without notifying China and sparking serious concerns from Beijing. Photographs released by Japan's defense ministry showed what is said was a Chinese aircraft carrier at sea off Japan's southwestern Okinawa region. Taiwan detected 66 Chinese military aircraft and vessels around the island on Thursday. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida shared concerns over growing ties between Russia and North Korea. U.S. President Joe Biden returned to the campaign trail, rallying a key constituency of labor union leaders. Republican presidential candidate and former U.S. President Donald Trump will announce within days who he has chosen as his nominee for the vice president post. A left-wing opponent of French President Macron has said that the president should stop monopolizing power in the parliament after he called for a mainstream coalition. Rwandan President Paul Kagame is expected to cruise to a 4th term in office in an election against 2 opposition candidates. 2 opposing factions of Bolivia's ruling party clashed due to internal divisions ahead of the 2025 elections. The 10th meeting of the border defense leaders of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization member state was held in China. Police in Australia charged a 28-year-old man with murder on Thursday following a house fire in Sydney's west that killed 3 children. The first 2 astronauts to fly Boeing's Starliner capsule said that they were confident in the spacecraft's ability to return them home from the International Space Station. In Spain, renters have turned to charity as social housing shortage and tourist boom spurs a crisis. The largest labor union at Samsung Electronics in South Korea has declared an indefinite strike after a 3-day walkout failed to yield any result. A research has been conducted in Israel focusing on nerve cells of bats and their role in encoding details about other individuals. Time to take a short break. We'll be right back.
We just don't bring you the news as it unfolds. We get to the heart of the matter. We don't just present facts, we demystify complex social, political and economic events.
We break stories that shape the world's present and future because you deserve the truth.
I am Tanvi Taneja from New Delhi.
I'm Ollie Barrett from London.
I'm Nick Harper from Washington, D.C.
Join us on DD India Global Monday to Friday at these times.
Welcome back after that short break. Let's continue with Express News. The Indian Meteorological Department has forecast heavy rainfall at many places across the country today. Heavy to very heavy rainfall is expected to continue from the 11th of July till the 15th of it over Karnataka as well as Gujarat. Met Department also forecast light to moderate rainfall at isolated locations along with thunderstorms and lightning in Uttarakhand, Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh. The flood situation in Assam remained grim on Thursday, even though floodwaters started receding in many parts of the state. Monsoon thunderstorms triggered a torrent of flooding in the streets of Veracruz in eastern Mexico. People were seen diving into flooded streets as homes and cars were submerged into water. High temperatures and low humidity continue to fuel the rapid spread of the lake fire in California, with large plumes of smoke seen in the skies of Santa Barbara County. According to the authorities, the size of the fire had grown to over 29,000 acres, prompting evacuation orders and endangering areas such as the famous Neverland Ranch. Indonesia deployed a helicopter and hundreds of rescuers as it resumed a search for 35 people still missing after a landslide at an illegal gold mine. Drone video showed the scale of devastation from a landslide at an illegal gold mine on Indonesia's island of Sulawesi that killed at least 23 people. Chileans suffered with a low temperature due to a polar wave in the South American nation. Chile's government said that it would bolster programs aimed at protecting people living on the streets. The polar wave frosted the sand on a beach in central Chile. The Chilean Meteorological Service issued frost and wind warnings as a cold snap is hitting different regions across the country. The sand dunes of Chile's Atacama Desert have been blanketed by white and purple plumes in recent days after early rains caused flowers to spring up. The Atacama has been dubbed the flowering desert, with resistant seeds and bulbs enduring the harsh weather to pop up as flowers every few years in the spring. Vietnam is home to over 800 species of seaweed, which is recognizing the carbon credit potential in the seaweed industry, which can store 1,500 tons of greenhouse gases per square kilometer. According to the scientists, seaweed grows 30 to 60 times faster than land plants, enabling it to absorb more carbon dioxide and thus create significant carbon sinks. Prague Zoo has welcomed its second critically endangered species, a Chinese pangolin, in less than 2 years. According to the zookeeper, the zoo helped certain residents such as polar bears and otters cool down by scattering ice cubes in their enclosures as temperatures in Prague rose above 30 degrees Celsius. Irish rock and blues star Rory Gallagher's 1961 Fender Stratocaster guitar, described as the most recognizable Strat in rock history, is headed for an auction. The Stratocaster, which has a price estimate of £1 million, is the leading lot for the Rory Gallagher collection auction, which will be held on the 17th of October at Pawnhams in London. A towering Stegosaurus dinosaur fossil standing at 11 feet tall, 20 feet in length, will be up for an auction at Sotheby's in New York on the 17th of July. Apex is the largest and most complete Stegosaurus ever found, carries an estimated price tag between $4 million to $6 million. Visitors to Buckingham Palace in London will get to stand behind the famous balcony as for the first time. The palace is opening the building's east wing that includes access to the central room. Ticket holders will be able to go inside the newly opened wing, which features 18th century items. The exhibition, called the Kuznetsov's Generalization Bridge from the 19th century to the 21st, has opened at the Tretyakov Gallery in Moscow. The exhibits arrived from museums across Russia, including St. Petersburg, Nizhny Novgorod, Omsk and Kirov, and will run until the 4th of November this year. Estonia's Jan Roos has made history by becoming the first person to cross the Strait of Messina in Italy on foot. The journey across the 3.6-kilometer slack line took Roos almost 3 hours to complete. He covered a distance longer than 30 football fields on webbed fabric that was only 1.9 centimeters wide. South Korean cosmetics giant called Amore Pacific launched an AI beauty lab where robots mix custom face products and recommend lipstick shades, sharply boosting customer demand. More cosmetic firms are embracing AI to boost their sales, with global brands such as L'Oreal and SA and LVMH owned Sephora. The official trailer for Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black, which is slated to begin streaming on the Amazon Prime Video from today, is now live and giving viewers a glimpse into the forthcoming thriller. Directed and written by Perry, the film follows Ava, a young bank professional who's devastated when her husband Teles abandons a marriage she's determined to fight for. DreamWorks Animation and Universal Pictures announced that a Shrek 5 film is officially in the works and coming to the theatres on the 1st of July 2026. The original cast of Shrek, Mike Myers and Eddie Murphy, along with Cameron Diaz, are reuniting for the 5th comedy adventure in the series. The full international jury for this year's Venice Film Festival has been unveiled. It includes Zhang Ziyi, James Gray, Andrew Huai, Agnieszka Holland. The 81st Venice Film Festival runs from the 28th of August through September 7th, 2024 and will open with Tim Burton's Beetlejuice. Born and raised in New York City, rapper Lil Kim celebrates her 50th birthday on the 11th of July. Kim hits include The Jump Off, Magic Stick, Crush on You and Lady Marmalade, as well as fashion moments and jaw-dropping lyrics. Gladiator 2 unveiled its trailer as they shared the sneak peek of Ridley Scott's action-packed film, which is the sequel to the epic 2000 film Gladiator. Salar becomes the third biggest opening for an Indian film in Japan after S.S. Rajamouli's 2022 film RRR and Prabhas's 2019 film Saho. The nominations for the 15th edition of the Indian Film Festival of Melbourne have been announced. The festival will see Shah Rukh Khan competing with actors like Diljit Dosanjh and others for the Best Actor trophy. Kalki 2898 AD has been running in theatres for 2 weeks now, and on its 14th day of release, the film made 7.5 crore rupees in India. Substitute Ollie Watkins scored a stoppage time winner to send England deservedly through to their second successive Euro final, beating the Netherlands by 2-1 in Dortmund. England will face Spain in the Euro 2024 final in Berlin on Sunday. 10-man Colombia defeated Uruguay by 1-0 to reach the final of the Copa America for the first time in 23 years after an ill-tempered semi-final on Thursday. Bayern Munich forward Thomas Müller is set to retire from international reports as per media reports. The 34-year-old had already hinted shortly after Euro 2024 quarter-final exit that it could be his last game for his country. Real Madrid will present Kylian Mbappe as an official Galactico next Tuesday at the iconic Santiago Bernabeu. Lorenzo Musetti moved into his maiden Grand Slam semi-final by outlasting American 13-seed Taylor Fritz by 3-6, 7-6, 6-2, 3-6 and 6-1 at Wimbledon. Serbian Novak Djokovic sailed into semi-final of the Wimbledon after his opponent, Australian Alex de Minaur, pulled out of his Wimbledon quarter-final round against the second seed. Australian pacer Mitchell Starc has expressed his displeasure at being dropped for the crucial T20 Cricket World Cup Super 8 match against Afghanistan in the Caribbean, saying he was not one bit amused by the team management's decision. Team India produced a clinical effort to beat Zimbabwe by 23 runs in the third T20I in Harare and take a 2-1 lead in the 5-match series. And India's Suryakumar Yadav is at the second position in the latest ICC rankings released by the ICC. Australia's Travis Head occupies the top spot with 844 ratings points. And with this, it's a wrap here on Express News for now. But news and updates will continue here on DD India. So don't go anywhere. Keep watching and keep tracking DD India for all latest news and updates from the country and the world. Thank you so much for joining us right now. Namaskar.